Okay, so we're going to start with John Sewell. John is the founder of Eazyl. Eazyl is a platform changing the way that we buy and sell art online, where buyers can pay directly to the artist without the excessive commission, and making art more accessible and affordable for everyone. John, it's yours. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Cameron. Before I start, I just want to say my congrats to you guys and everything you've done. I went to the opening way back a couple of years ago, and it's great to see how things are progressing. So, congrats on everything you're doing. Let's see if I can share my screen. Give me a second.
I'm gonna get your timer ready as well. So.
Yeah, brilliant. Can you see that screen now? Is that, can everyone? I don't know. Can you speak on answer? Because I can only see my side. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, we can't. No.
Hang on one sec. It says on mine that it is sharing. So hang on.
It did. No.
Let's try again. I did it, and then it's gone. Okay, let's try again.
Those technical problems became part of each of the problems.
How about now?
Yeah, go ahead. All good.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll just restart my timer. So yeah, as Omran says, my name's John, and I'm the founder of Eazyl, an online marketplace making art easy, accessible, and affordable. Now, obviously, those aren't particularly words that people will associate with art or the art world, and I'm going to start off by explaining why, and then go into a little bit about how Eazyl is changing that. So here at the top, we have an artist and 3 types of potential buyers. Particularly early career artists will generally start off by selling their work online. Buyers will then pay for this work through a platform, and they'll think they're generally getting a fair price, but what they often don't know is that the artist is only receiving about 2/3 typically of what they pay. When the artist has to factor in the time, the materials, the shipping, and most importantly, I think the creative talent that it takes to make artworks, they're not really getting a fair price for their work, and it's ultimately not very sustainable for them. Some artists might make it past this stage. They might get representation by a gallery, a traditional bricks and mortar gallery. And at this point, they might be confident enough to say to the gallery, look, I want to get 100% of the value of my time and materials and creativity and all that. But the gallery's still got to stick their 50% commission, which is the industry standard for bricks and mortar galleries, on top of that. And the problem this time around is that the buyer is then paying way over the odds for the artwork. And this has a massive effect also on the 3rd kind of buyer. Now, this is the kind of buyer who probably doesn't have a huge amount to spend. They know that art's going to be expensive, but there's also a number of other barriers for them as well. They're probably never going to set foot in a commercial gallery, and they're even less likely to go and buy art through an online portal, with only 20% of people still feeling more confident to use online portals than commercial galleries even now. So what ends up happening is, because they don't feel that art is somewhere where they can access, and they know that it's expensive, they end up going to IKEA. And it's not the end of the world in some ways. It's nice people are able to decorate their homes, but I know from experience that a lot of these people would like the chance to support emerging artists if they had somewhere they could do it and that they knew and felt comfortable in doing so. And the biggest problem here is obviously that the artist misses out on that entire market completely. So a huge number of an artist's potential clients won't ever come to them because they don't know how to even meet them. Those buyers that do pay often pay over the odds, or if they pay a fair price, the artist will ultimately not receive a fair price for their work. So we end up with a market that is not transparent, not sustainable, and most artists will end up feeling that they can't carry on any longer. And this isn't just me saying this, is backed up by statistics. We've seen a drop in the number of artists in the UK in the last couple of years. This is partly because of the commission fee model not working for so many and it not becoming financially viable for them. And it's also in part because of the way that the art schools operate. It says a lot that only 1 in 5 fine art graduates are able to establish themselves as a self-employed artist within a few months of leaving art school. And I know anecdotally that then it's even harder to go on once you're working in another job to make it as an artist. Art schools aren't prepping students for the business side of things, and art is a business at the end of the day. So this is a massive problem, and it means that so many artists are not making it in their chosen career because of the current system. So Eazyl's changing that. We're operating as a sort of straightforward marketplace. Our artists pay just £4.99 a month for them to upload and sell as much work as they like. And this enables our buyers to pay directly and securely through the platform, which makes them a lot happier. They feel more comfortable. They know they're supporting someone, and the artists are able to plan their spending on this, and they feel comfortable at that price range as well. So we set out to sell art. Thankfully, we've been able to do that. We've sold over £3,000 worth of artwork so far. We have 900 artworks listed with 65 plus artists, some of whom you can see there. And an average sale price of around about £40, so it really is affordable. Going forward, we've listened to our artists, and we particularly want to address those issues of offering support. So as well as giving the basic membership, we're also looking to give added exclusive support to different levels of to different artists, depending on their needs. And we, both at the £49.99 and £14.99 price bracket, we have got people lined up to start paying that in the new year. And finally, a little bit about the team. It's mainly been myself so far. My background's art history and working in both commercial and non-commercial galleries with a bit of marketing as well. I've outsourced the web development. That's not my side of things. My background's the arts. But thankfully, I've got a great team of interns to help me on some of the day-to-day stuff at the moment, thanks to UOB. And I'm also working closely with Asit Deshpande, who's the founder of Shapes. Shapes work with hotels around the world, and through that, we're hoping to give our artists the chance to get bespoke commissions as well. I am currently looking as well for a technical co-founder or a CTO. If anyone has any guidance on this, I'd really welcome a chance to talk to anyone about that. But if anyone has any other questions, please come and meet me in the virtual tables at the end, or add me on LinkedIn. And with Christmas on the horizon, I'll just end by saying, please check out the website and buy art, support artists, but please don't pay commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much for a great pitch. Just a few seconds of that. Perfect. Any questions, guys? Let me check the chat. Questions? John, want to tell us? Here's a question. Okay, so the question is, how did you start your journey?
Well, yeah, I started because I was working in a commercial gallery, like I said, when I was a student one summer. And I noticed a lot of people came in and said they really liked the artwork, but that it was too expensive. And the gallery I worked in had a ridiculous commission of, I think it was 65%. So that was incredibly excessive. But, you know, the norm is about 50%. But it just, that emphasized for me how big of a problem it could be. And I've worked with a lot of artists voluntarily as well. So I knew there was a demand out there for something different.
Okay, so can your artist pitch for commissions via website?
In terms of, if the question's meaning if they can pitch for the commercial clients' commissions, that's something I'm still figuring out with Asit, how we're going to work with those commercial clients. I think it will be that we'll go with a kind of portfolio to the commercial clients and say, look, these are the artists that we represent, and here's how we go. But that's definitely an interesting idea that might be worth exploring as well.
Okay, we have just to clarify, is it both the buyer and the seller who pay to subscribe to the platform, or just the?
It's just the buyer. The sellers, the only payment they make at any point is directly to the buyer, to the artist rather, and the artists pay the subscription just to have access to the artist side of the platform, the back end that allows them to upload their work and manage their customer relations and stuff.
Okay. How to solve the chicken and egg problem of bringing buyers and artists? Because this is a good question for every platform.
Yeah, it's been a really difficult thing in some ways so far. But I think one thing that and part of the reason for the new packages is that I really want to build that community of artists, because I'm very aware that as a small platform, we can't necessarily give them all the customers that they might get off the other platforms. But what we can do, particularly at this stage, is give them that support network and community of artists. And my plan is hopefully that with that, the buzz around that network and the benefit that gives to artists, we'll just get more and more artists involved, bringing more of their clients that already they have, and the word of mouth spreads. And we're already sort of getting featured in various different things, particularly at this time of year, with Christmas guides and all that sort of stuff. So it's just getting the ball rolling and trying to get those people in.
Related to that question, actually, so Dan is asking, it seems like very great opportunity, but you seems focusing on the emerging artist, or is there a scope for scale to more experienced artists?
My immediate desire is to help those emerging artists, because I know that there's a particular need for that, and a lot of the slightly more sort of established artists will have their marketplaces that they'll be sort of using already and that kind of thing. But I think obviously the plan is that I want to take our emerging artists and make them sustainable artists. So I think there is scope in the long run, and that's where the package system is hopefully going to start to bring that. We'll hopefully be able to create a whole journey where we're able to stick with people through the whole process of going from being a young artist just trying to make it through to someone who's exhibiting, in hotels around the world and exhibitions around the world too.
Okay. Two questions somehow related to each other. So could you tell us more about the traction number of users? I think you mentioned that in the presentation. And where do you see it 5 years from now?
So in terms of the users, at the moment, we've currently got around about 300 people signed up as non-artist members, and we have just over 150 artist members signed up, but not all of them have gone on to upload works. That's something that is I think as the website is developed, we'll be able to bring more of those people in, but it shows that there's interest out there as well. And in terms of the next 5 years, I want Eazyl to be the go-to place for particularly young people to go and buy work from young emerging artists, and I want to be able to take a lot of those artists with us on that journey and make art. My big thing is I want to make art mainstream. I'm always amazed that music is so popular, but art is so sort of seems so difficult and abstract to people, because at the end of the day, it's still a subjective, creative thing. So we need to make art and artists see the same sort of rewards that musicians get, basically. We're
gonna end there with the last question. Davis, I'm gonna leave the skills and the qualifications for the CTO. I think I'm gonna post that somewhere on social media. So the question now we end with is, what is your target for exit size, and how long do you think take to reach that? Really quick.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm really still trying to figure out, and my aim has always, I find the truth is I find the exit thing kind of difficult to grapple with, because as far as I'm concerned, I just want to make the business big, and this is what I'm in. There's no sort of route for exit for me, but I understand the investors are looking for that sort of thing. And the problem is it's difficult to quantify, because in the art market, there's not been a huge amount of mergers and takeovers and that kind of thing. There was a recent thing where Walmart bought art.com, but they were quite a big platform. They've been around since the 90s, and but that was for very undisclosed fees, and it was difficult to see. So that's something I'm still trying to figure out. But ultimately, I think the market is huge. The online art market is worth 40 billion a year around the world, 8 billion in the UK. There's definitely a lot of scope.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you for the great pitch. I know there's a lot of questions. I think, Dan, if you can keep those questions there, maybe later on we can pass them to the founders and they can reach out and
find me in the tables afterwards, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Hopefully we're going to join the table after. Thank you, John. We're going to
very much.